Trump recently went on a bit of a trolling spree.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
When asked who he wants to become the next pope, he said, "I'd like to be pope."
As Pope? Yeah. I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice.
He then proceeded to post an AI image of himself as Pope on Twitter and Truth Social. This got some Catholic jimmies rustled, as Trump is a Protestant Christian, not a Catholic, and they saw this as disrespectful. This just made Christians like Trump all the more, though, because if you didn't know already, Christians don't like Catholic. It's almost like being persecuted by the Catholics to the point of mass execution for hundreds of years builds up some institutional hatred. Who would have guessed? But seriously though, Trump doesn't do anything that would fool any Christian into thinking he's actually Christian. He's just made a lot of policy changes that Christians really like. For instance, the Supreme Court justices he appointed overturned Roe v. Wade, putting the abortion problem on the states, rather than allowing it across all 50 states. That's the biggest win for pro-lifers in a really long time. Who would have guessed Christians want to vote for the guy who would rather outlaw child sacrifice than the woman who wants to pump those abortion numbers up?
Rev up those fryers, cause I am sure hungry for one. Help! Help!
This is another reason why evangelicals generally don't get along with Catholics. Pope Francis institutionalized blessing homosexuals, while the actual Bible says in 1 Corinthians 6:9, "Or do you not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived, neither the sexually immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor men who practice homosexuality." This is because Catholicism is a cult founded by Satan. The concept is pretty simple and absolutely brilliant on Satan's part. Simply mix 10 truths and a lie, over and over. It's okay to practice a little idolatry, or why don't you just worship Mary a little bit? She's the mother of God, surely she should be worshipped. Or pay your way into heaven. And due to that last one, the 10 truths that Catholicism started off with are being turned into lies as well. Rather than adhere to what Jesus taught, they would rather adhere to the current culture because that will bring in the highest amount of tithe dollars. In the end, a little leaven leavens the whole lump, and a little sin infects the whole body. Due to this, I like Trump mocking the Catholics. It's pretty hilarious to see just how far Trump will go to be a troll though, especially when Vice President J.D. Vance is a Catholic. Trump just does not care. He's a master at putting the entire spotlight on him. The new pope is, unsurprisingly, the most liberal of the potential candidates. Pope Leo reposted an article before he became pope saying, "J.D. Vance is wrong. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others," in retaliation to J.D.'s Vance comment on Fox News saying, "There is a Christian concept that you love your family, and then you love your neighbor, and then you love your community, and then you love your fellow citizens, and then after that, prioritize the rest of the world." A lot of the far left has completely inverted that. And J.D. Vance is right about this. He also said that cat-eating Haitians aren't his neighbors. They are invaders. Once again, he's right. Weak Christians will say everyone is our neighbor, but that's a liberal psyop, and we need to exile these people from our religion. Jesus was asked this question directly. Let's quickly read what he says about this. Luke 10:29-37 says, "But he, desiring to justify himself, said to Jesus, 'And who is my neighbor?' Jesus replied, 'A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell among robbers, who stripped him and beat him and departed, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a priest was going down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. So likewise a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he journeyed, came to where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. He went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he set him on his own animal and brought him to an inn and took care of him. And the next day he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper, saying, 'Take care of him, and whatever more you spend I will repay you when I come back.' Which of these 3 do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers?" He said, "The one who showed him mercy." And Jesus said to him, "You go and do likewise." The parable of the Good Samaritan is one of the most popular Bible stories, yet somehow the literal Pope forgets its message. Some Christian he is. Your neighbor is one who shows people mercy. If someone shows no mercy, They are a ruthless and cruel being. They certainly aren't your neighbor. They should be cut down to defend the rest. Kindness to the cruel is cruel to the kind. This is why justice and mercy are two sides of the same coin, two equal tenets of God that cannot be broken. When they're out of unison, they are purely evil on their own. Together, they are utterly holy. This is why, in the language of ancient Hebrew, which the Old Testament is written in, they are literally the same word, tzedakah, otherwise known as charitable justice. This is another huge reason I like Trump. Liberals and Catholics alike will screech about mercy all day long without thinking for a moment about justice. Trump thinks about justice. He wants to protect the upright and merciful from those who would commit atrocities against them. He's deporting all of the illegal aliens who are here to destroy our country. He's removing all the institutionalized theft that destroys these merciful people. For instance, liberals will say that people who work low-end jobs need welfare programs to be able to afford to live. That's just giving their money back to them, though, and in a way that is preferential to people who won't do any work versus low-end work. The simplest way to benefit the lower class is to cut taxes in areas that impact them the most. For instance, we have gas taxes layered upon gas taxes that makes gas more expensive. And sales tax impacts everyone. Social Security takes up 12.4% of the income of anyone who receives a paycheck. These things add up. A few percent here, a few percent there, and suddenly you've hurt the lower class so much that many of them end up on welfare programs to survive. That's not good. But the way to fix that isn't adding more welfare programs. That increases the tax burden and crushes the lower class who are willing to work even more in order to buy votes from people who will not work. Trump is against this. He's been going after welfare programs that are extremely popular, even Social Security. Just as Paul commands in 2 Thessalonians 3:10, "For even when we were with you, we would give you this command. If anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat." Now riddle me this, leftists. Why should 12.4% of everyone's paycheck go towards supporting boomers? Their average net worth is $950,000. They are a generation of robber barons stealing from the poor young generations to feed their own gluttony and greed. Trump is the only president who has really gone after any welfare programs. All of these programs need to be shut down and the taxes need to be eliminated. Proverbs 19:17 says, "Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed." Trump is willing to take the hard actions to stop oppressing the poor. The new pope would rather sit around and call everyone his neighbor, while some people are ruthless murderers and thieves who should be cut off. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, you may enjoy my online Bible study. You can join it in the pinned comment below.